Everybody. So, we'll call to order our meetings for today, beginning with the salary board meeting. We always have the salary board meeting and the board commissioners meeting here together. This is November 9th, 2023. The appointed hour 9:30 has arrived. So we'll start with meeting number 1, salary board, and start with a roll call of members present, please.
Commissioner Eichelberger. Present. Commissioner Fauci.
I'm here.
Commissioner DiFilippo.
Present.
Controller Whitcomb.
Here. Thank you. All right. Now we come to the opportunity for any public comment to the salary board on salary board issues. And somebody online? Okay. Very good. We've got moving on to item 4. We have the minutes in hand of our meeting of October 26th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 26th.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? If not, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, that brings us to item 5, the salary board actions.
I'll make a motion to approve the salary board actions as presented.
I second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, is there any additional business to come before salary board? Not hearing any, so I'll ask for a motion to
Make a
adjourn.
motion.
Stand adjourned. Welcome to the meeting of the board of commissioners. We open with a pledge of allegiance. Ask you to join us by stating. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay, we'll call meeting to order for the board of commissioners and begin with roll call of members present, please.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Present.
Commissioner Fauci.
I'm here.
Commissioner DiFilippo.
Present.
Okay, that brings us to public comment for non-agenda items. All other items will be addressed.
Nobody is online.
I have a brief public comment. I just want to congratulate my 2 colleagues on your successful reelection. And I hope that your next term is a good one.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince.
Okay, moving along then, we have the consent agenda for our semi-routine items, I guess. We'll pass this off to the CEO.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. The consent agenda is a listing of agenda items that are routine, do not appear to be controversial in nature, and also do not appear to require any additional discussion. Commissioners, it's agenda items 4 through 8. And unless anybody requests for discussion on any of those items, I would ask for approval of the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners. That takes us then to the regular agenda, which is a list of non-routine items that will be discussed and may be acted upon individually. And we'll start with agenda item number 9. I'll call on Yvonne Swarner, who should be available on Zoom to discuss.
I am here.
Hi, Yvonne.
How are you? Good morning.
Morning. I'll go ahead and let you take it away.
Okay. We have advertised to receive bids for the water filtration units. We received bidding from one company despite sending invitations to several companies. Pure Water Technology was the only bidder, and they are our current vendor. The bid amount is $48 per unit as compared to the $41 per month that we currently pay. The proposed contract is a yearly contract with automatic renewals up to a 5-year maximum. The price includes the unit's 2 yearly services, all filters, replacements, and service called, and unlimited water use. These are energy rated, and the water goes through a multi-stage process, which includes sediment removal, dual carbonation filtration, reverse osmosis, and activated oxygen. The units will not dispense water unless it has been treated, which is a great safety factor. We recommend awarding the water filtration contract to Pure Water Technology.
Any questions for Yvonne?
I just have one. I'm always a little troubled by any contract that has a single bidder. Are we aware of other prospective bidders out there to help? And is there?
And we reached out to several companies and nobody else put bids in for them.
Okay. My only other question is, have we received any negative feedback on the conduct of the contract, or are we generally satisfied?
We have not received any negative feedback, and we've have a really good working relationship with Pure Water and their service team.
Okay, thank you.
Yvonne, was this put out on Penn bid?
It was not put out on Penn bid.
Thank you.
Keith, I'm assuming we're fine proceeding. There's no one else bid.
Yes, you are.
Okay,
Then I will move to approve the bid results of the water filtration system and move to award the contract to Pure Water in the amount of $112,320.
Second.
okay, moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, commissioners. I'll now turn over the agenda to Angela Smyser to work through the contracts.
Thank you, Stacy. Good morning, everybody. Moving on to agenda item 10, I will call on Kim Winton to discuss the contracts for aging and community services. Good morning, Kim.
Hi, good morning, commissioners. The first contract, Shaddai Home Health, is a agency that provides home support and personal care to our eligible consumers in the options program. The contracts for Adams County Aging, Contact Helpline, Center for Independent Living, Franklin County Aging, and Mifflin Juniata County Aging are all pass-through funding for the Aging and Disability Resource Centers for the Service Area 9 in the state.
Are there any questions for Kim?
I'll make a motion to approve the contracts for aging and community services as listed in agenda item 10.
I second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Moving on to agenda item 11, I will call on Justin Smith to discuss the contract for assessment.
Good
It
morning.
looks like, well,
Good morning, commissioners. We are requesting signature of the vision implementation agreement for the CAM upgrade for a total of $726,750, of which 25% will be due at signing. The remaining will be due in 2024. $500,000 of this, which is will be funded with the ARP grant money. We are also requesting approval of the Vision CAMA subscription agreement for $71,931, which will be due annually after the Vision CAMA implementation contract has been completed.
are there any questions for Justin?
Entertain a motion.
I will move to approve the contracts for assessment as listed on agenda item 11.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to agenda item 12, I will call on Jamie Reiber to discuss the contracts for children and youth. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning, everyone. The first one I have is Pathway to Everyday Life Human Services. This is a group home program, and we actually are contracting with them for one specific youth who has been in and out of multiple placements. So we were happy to find one that was willing to take her. So we are doing the contract with them for the 23-24 fiscal year, and this is our first year contracting with them. All of their rates are at or below the state maximum allowable. Second contract I have is Language Service Associates. It's an addendum to that contract. We did have a line in the contract for third-party die-out. We found out that although we had a rate in there, there is a different rate for every different country. So we needed to add those all into the contract. So that's what we're doing with the addendum. The third one I have is Bethany Christian Services of Central PA. This is their 23-24 contract. They have increases ranging from 3 to 5%. And they are giving significant increases to their foster parents this year. So that is part of the reason that they have an increase. And then just the overall operating cost and additional fees for licensing and such. The last one I have is Cornell Abraxas Group LLC. That's also an addendum. We are adding a detention bed in that contract to hold so that whenever it is needed, we have it available. I'm sure you have heard by now that the detention beds are very scarce. So we are trying to avoid having an issue and not having one available. So we are adding that to our contract for this year. Are there any questions?
Motion.
Yeah, make a motion that we accept the contracts and addendums for children and youth services as presented in agenda item 12.
I second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much, Jamie.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item 13, I will call on Holly Sherman to discuss the contract addendum for human resources. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning. This is the contract for the stop loss insurance for our healthcare. It is currently with Avalon, and through consultation with USI, our benefit consultant, and the finance department, we are recommending to renew with Avalon at a 9.9% decrease, which includes a $15,000 credit. If there's no questions, I would ask for approval.
I will move to approve the Capital Blue Cross Avalon contract addendum as discussed.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Carries.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item 14, I will call on Sue Carball to discuss the contracts for MHIDD. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, everyone. So the first contract we have is early intervention contract. These are all, both of these contracts are fiscal year 23 amendments now. So the first contract is for International Service Center Incorporated. It's an increase of $8,583 for additional services for the children. The next contract is Connections Early Intervention and Supports. There's also an amendment and an increase of $19,564 for additional services. The next contract is both an early intervention and an IDD contract for ASL services, which is American Sign Language Interpretation. It is a new contract for this fiscal year, and it will be in the amount of $15,000. The next contract are ID contracts for fiscal year 2023. The first one, One Well LLC, is an amendment, an increase of $19,985 for in-home and community supports. Next contract, Bloom Human Services LLC, is an amendment for $26,626 for in-home and community supports. The next contract is Ahead Incorporated, an amendment for $2,329 for supported employment services. And the last contract for Keon Enterprises LLC is also an amendment for $17,846, and it is for transportation. Is there any questions?
Make a motion to approve the 7 contract addendums for mental health and IDD is listed on agenda item 14.
I second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you so much, Sue.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item 15, I will call on Claudia Garner to discuss the grants for public safety. Good morning, Claudia.
Good morning. Can you all see me or hear me?
We can hear you, we cannot see you. There you are.
Okay.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Public Safety is seeking your approval of the federal fiscal year 23 Homeland Security Grant Agreement in the amount of $1,202 with a performance period of September 1 of 23 through December 29 of 26. This is federal funding from Homeland Security, which is awarded to the South Central Task Force region as a whole. Each of the counties in the task force is asked to approve the grant agreement and then sign off individually to be part of the comprehensive agreement. The priorities are always the same as far as funding expenditures for sustaining regional training and exercise programs, technology initiatives, and response capabilities. This is about a $2,000 decline from last year, and the revenue and expenses as they relate to this grant agreement are completed by Dauphin County as the fiduciary for the task force. So if you're in agreement, we'll ask for your motion to accept the federal fiscal year 23 Homeland Security Grant for Cumberland County's portion of the South Central Task Force.
you can discuss both your items together and they can, one motion.
Okay,
If
will do,
the-
sorry. All right, so we're also seeking your approval to apply for the Safety First Grant, which is offered by Norfolk Southern. We learned of this grant opportunity through the great work of the LEPC and the Norfolk Southern representative that was in attendance at the last meeting. Ironically, during a recent hazmat response, an unmet need was identified for some response equipment that would advance the capabilities of the team to better serve our community. These items are eligible for this grant funding. Grant awards are commonly up to $15,000 with the exact amount to be determined and identified in the final grant agreement if we are awarded. So if you're in agreement, or if I have any questions I can answer, ask for your approval for the Homeland Security Grant Agreement acceptance and to apply for Safety First Grant.
Well, I have one question. So the equipment that was identified as a need, how much that cost is defrayed by this grant?
It should be 100% covered.
Okay, thank you. That's good news. Do we have a motion or any other questions?
I am going to move to approve the grants for public safety as listed on agenda item 15.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much, Claudia.
Thank you, everyone.
Moving on to agenda item 16, I will call on Justin Miller to discuss the grant application for recycling and waste. Good morning, Justin.
Good morning. So back in 2021, you approved applying for a recycling grant totaling $384,529 for paper shredding equipment, yard waste recycling equipment, and food waste recycling equipment. We were selected for an award, which assures that we would be reimbursed 90% of project costs. To date, we have completed the yard waste recycling equipment and the food waste recycling equipment portion of the project. So this is what is called a disbursement request. It's disbursement request number 1, seeking 90% of those costs, which were $226,797. 90% of that is $204,117 that we're asking DEP to reimburse us.
Any questions for Justin?
No, I'll make a motion to approve the PA DEP municipal recycling program grant application for $204,117 for recycling and waste office.
I second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
And with meeting back over to Stacy.
Thanks, Angela. That takes us into agenda item 17. We have James Brandt joining us on Zoom to discuss and seek approval for sponsorship donations for the 2023 Cumberland County LEPC Summit. Hi, go ahead.
Good morning. The Department of Public Safety is asking for the Board of Commissioners approval to receive sponsorship money to be used in offsetting the expenses. LEPC Summit was just recently held. This event was held to area businesses, first responders, and elected officials to network with their partners while learning how to be prepared for an emergency. We appreciate these agencies in supporting the mission of the LEPC. The Summit Planning Committee unit Hilton's Lock and Security for a gold sponsorship and payments from AT&T FirstNet and Hickory Ridge Restaurant, Cleanery and Country Store, in the amount of $250 each for bronze sponsorship level. The approval of these sponsors will bring the final number to 15. The total sponsorship funds received to $8,500. Again, we're asking for your approval to receive this sponsorship money to be applied towards the Senate.
Any questions for James?
I will move to approve the sponsorship donations for the 2023 Cumberland County LEPC Summit as listed on agenda item 17.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. That takes us to agenda item 18, which is Commissioner's Liaison Reports, and Commissioner Eichelberger, I'll start with you.
I have no update.
Commissioner Fauci.
Well, good morning, Cumberland County. I'd remind you to use the Cumberland County Library System. They just are doing such a fantastic job in so many realms. The LEPC, Local Emergency Planning Committee, met last week, and the grant that we just went ahead and approved, the grant application with Norfolk Southern. You know, it's public safety working the relationship with Norfolk Southern that really and truly brings Norfolk Southern to the table with us, that brings out, that makes sure that we know about these grant opportunities. And I have a comment then to all of our employees this morning. This particular grant, we had a conversation at the table about, you know, do we have enough time to apply for this grant? Do we have enough time to get the grant application in? We have all these steps that we have to follow. And so I said this at that meeting, I'm gonna say it to you right now. Do not let bureaucracy get in the way of applying for a grant. We're gonna figure it out, we're gonna work it through. We do not need to be leaving money on the table or not applying for something because we think that we don't have the time or we can't make it through the steps. That's why we have Stacy. Stacy Snyder is gonna help us with those things. We've got Angela. Angela's gonna help us with those things. So please don't approach that with an idea of, oh my gosh, we don't have the time, or oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to work this out, because we're gonna figure it out. If it's a possibility, we're gonna give it a roll. So that's what I have. Thanks.
And I think we've had 2 grants in this past week that we've worked through the system, and the system will work the way we need it to work to apply for that, the extra funds. Anything else?
I do not have anything else. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner DeFilippo.
Yes, I have one update. The Ag Preservation Board met yesterday. So far this year, 12 offers have been made to applicants, 10 have been accepted. The Simmons property in East Pennsboro is a 30-acre lot that will be co-brokered with the county in East Penn. We are awaiting final word from their solicitor on the agreement. We have 2 members coming up for membership renewal the first of the year, Mike Kleinpeter, who is the contractor representative, and Barry France from Silver Spring, who is one of the township representatives. I asked the board for favorable recommendation. They are sent to us. Both of these gentlemen have been outstanding members of the board, and I really appreciate their time and effort. The program is still going strong. We have about 25 applications still. And that is it for that. I just also want to report the Blighted Property Board, which has been very active this year. We meet this afternoon. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner. That takes us then to agenda 19. I'd like to report that executive sessions were held on October 26, 2023 at 10:40 a.m. regarding potential litigation, and on November 2nd, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. regarding personnel. Is there any other business that needs to come before the board today? Okay, hearing none, seeing none, we are adjourned.
Thank you.